So in my quest to get you video footage of cats, that's Rose down there. You probably can't see her very well. She's hunkered down on the patio because next door have got workmen in again on a Wednesday when I'm recording. Wednesday appears to be workman day, which is rather annoying. Welcome to episode 18. Hopefully this has started with a little bit of footage of Rose out on the patio. Possibly, possibly not. You know what I'm like with devices. Today, my older son Peter has joined us. There are some more questions to answer, so he's going to ask them as we did last week, and I will answer them, hopefully. This is going to be a bit of a show and tell episode as well, so be excited.
Show something that you made first.
Well, that's what I did last week. I said, here is something I made. Well, here is the first thing I made. And despite the fact that you can't improve on perfection, I then went on to have Ewan.
Yeah, the first one's always a bit of a mock-up. It's kind of.
I think it went the other way, actually. I think I used you for all my best bits.
Right. You ready for some questions?
I'm ready.
Right. How did you get the name Mouse?
Do you know how?
I think so.
How do you think I got it?
I think it's from when you were in the bike group.
Yeah. Bikers like nicknames. I don't know where it comes from. Possibly from the kind of, if you don't know somebody's name, you can't dob them in society. But normally it's only the guys that get nicknames. But I got called Mouse because I was so shy. And that then became Danger Mouse because I had a little bit of a itchy throttle hand, shall we say, and used to go everywhere very fast. He cured me of that. As soon as I became a mother, I couldn't do it anymore.
This is true.
You broke me.
Ewan was surprised when you overtook someone, Sarah.
And I was in the car.
Yes, it was only on a 30.
It wasn't. It was on that stretch where it's 70 now, but it was 60 then.
What is the all-time favourite thing you've crafted?
I thought long and hard about this, and there are two answers. Probably the favourite thing I've ever crafted is this quite ugly poncho, which very, very rarely gets used as a poncho and is used every single day as a leg blanket, because if you sit with your legs up on the footstool, it's the perfect shape. I don't know if you can see that. So as far as favourite as in gets used all the time, it will be that. Favourite as in thing that you've crafted a lot, it would be this blanket. And I've made, this is folded in half obviously, sorry, I keep covering your face up.
It's probably preferable.
I've made 3 of these this size. It's a chunky pattern. I made one for you, and this is Ewan's one, and I made one for you and one for Lauren for your moving in present when you bought your house. But what I really love about it is that if you do it in double knit and on 4mm needles, it makes a baby size blanket. And I used to do an awful lot of crafting for a baby charity locally, and so I made loads for them using the same pattern. That's probably my favourite.
And what is the one thing you would never craft again?
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's those bloody striped fingerless gloves.
You loved the fingerless
gloves. I did not love them.
You loved them.
When he was at school, he had me making, I don't know how many pairs.
At least 4.
At least 4. Multicoloured stripes, fingerless gloves, and not mitts. They had to have fingers. So they had to have a finger up to the first knuckle. Fiddly. Black. And they were all black and something. And you know how I like knitting in black. So that is definitely my least favourite thing.
And how do you knit so much?
Well, as I've mentioned before, I'm not 100% well. So I can't do a great deal else. And I am at home all the time. And I knit pretty much all, you know that slogan, if I'm sitting, I'm knitting? That kind of applies. That's why I knit, so I don't do that. Especially when we're watching films.
You don't watch films?
I don't watch films. I listen to films with my eyes closed.
You're resting your eyes, aren't you?
The number of films that I don't think I've seen that he says, yes, you have, we watched it, and I don't remember.
Happy Feet.
Oh no, that caused such a row one Christmas. Happy Feet was on the television and I wanted to watch it. And everybody said, you've seen it. I was adamant I hadn't seen it. Not even one time, let alone 4 times. So I insisted on watching Happy Feet. It caused a row. My husband went to bed and had a nap. And about 15 minutes into the film, I went, oh, I remember, I have seen this. The Avengers films are the worst though, because they're complicated. And I have a plan. We've got Disney Plus, and my plan is Ewan's working in the shop with Dave for 3 weeks. I'm going to start at the beginning and I'm going to watch them all in chronological order.
It's going to be a long nap.
I'm going to knit, I won't nap. No knitting, napping. Knitting, no napping. It'll be fine.
You're going to come in, you know when you see like babies and they're eating and they fall asleep. As soon as they hear a noise, they carry on eating. You'd be like, oh, I've only done 2 rows.
I have caught myself and I'm still knitting away, but my head's going like that and my eyes are closed.
You know when you say, oh, I'm not sure what went wrong here?
Yeah, that's what went wrong, isn't it?
That's what went wrong, yeah.
Quite possibly. That's all the questions, I think, isn't it?
I think so. I do have a question, though.
Tell me your question.
If
it's when's your cardigan's going to be ready, then I'm afraid the answer...
Seasons have changed. No. Was there something that Nana knitted that was your favourite thing that she knitted?
Not your Nana, my mum, because she didn't knit much. She liked to sew, but she could knit, but she didn't knit because it hurt her elbows. I don't know quite what she did, because my elbows are tucked in, it's only like my fingers.
Because she had them on the side, sleeping like a flamingo.
Probably. My mum was notorious. She could sleep anywhere, and she would sleep with her elbows like this on the kitchen counter, standing on one leg, fast asleep. Yeah, so it wasn't something that Nana knitted, because I don't think she ever knit me anything. But her mum, my Nana, knit me a cardigan. I mean, we're talking 60s. So it was a round neck raglan sleeve cardigan that was meant to be worn buttoned up as a jumper. And she knit it in exactly the same colour to go with a pair of trousers I had. They were called stirrup pants back then. So they got like a little bit that goes under your foot.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're little, you don't keep crawling out of your trousers. And it was exactly the same colour. It was kind of a mustardy colour. And that was probably my favourite thing that anyone else has ever knitted me. But I don't think anyone else has ever knitted me anything else. Not that I can remember. That's a lie. Auntie Shirley's mum made me a red knitted teddy bear.
Oh.
And I've got a picture of me standing with my grandma, Auntie Nora and my granddad. And I've got the bear and a fringe about that long. You must have seen it.
No, but I know the story of the hair.
Yeah.
Because once again, you've learned that you can't cut your own hair, haven't you? No. How many times have I got to confiscate those scissors?
I have many pairs.
Mm.
Right, if the humiliation is finished.
Not even quite, but carry on.
Okay. I have an almost finished object for you. Would you mind reaching that down for me? Look, it's almost finished. I've bound off the bottom, but you better not be putting greasy fingers on it.
No, I wash them specially.
Oh, thank you.
Once every 2 months.
Very good. COVID and all that. Mm-hmm. I haven't yet bound off the sleeves or the neckline. And as it's an I-cord bound off, I didn't have time to do that last night because I was fully over binding off the bottom, which took about 6 weeks. What are you muttering now?
Nothing, carry on.
Okay. These, if you remember from months ago, I bought some Scooby strings. Do you remember Scoobies? To use as stitch holders, and they work perfectly, and they're quite stretchy. So, I mean, I was only knitting with a 3.75mm needle. You can push it onto the end of the knitting needle and then slide your stitches on. So they're working well. Yeah, so this is almost done, and I've used the Rocket T pattern, and it fits. I do not have 22 inches of positive ease. Do you know what that means?
I just know that
it's bad.
It's bad.
It's very bad.
But then again, maths wasn't always your strongest. So
Maths, no. And in fact, this fits because a lady called Nikki, hello again Nikki, messaged me on Instagram and said, if you do this, it will come out the right size, and gave me the sum to do.
oh dear.
I don't know where you got your maths brain, but it certainly wasn't from me.
It's from the postman, I'm sure.
You can't say that because you look
just like my dad.
You do. And you've even got his toes.
His toes.
I was thinking the other day when you were sat on the floor in the living room and you had no socks on, I was thinking, they're Colin's feet, they are. Anyway, back to the jumper. I've forgotten what I was telling you now. It is knit in, and this is where it gets a bit complicated, Anjknits Spring Collection Rose Gardens. But as you can see, I think this is a very autumnal colour. The reason it's complicated is that Anjknits has changed her business name. So I'll tell you all about that. Actually, I might as well do it now. She's changed the business name from Anjknits to Knit and Pearls Yarns. I will put a link in the description box. The code that we have still works, but I gave it to you incorrectly. Though apparently a lot of people, don't laugh at me, a lot of people have worked it out. It's not Mouses Makes, it's Mouse Makes 10. There's no S in the middle. But she's had quite a few orders, so you probably don't need me. You just worked it out by yourself. But yeah, I'll put a link down below because she has changed her name, so to avoid any confusion. So that is almost finished. I am extremely pleased with it. I have tried it on more than once. I did make it longer than the pattern tells you. The pattern says 15 inches from the armhole, and I did 19 because 15 just hit me at a very unfortunate level, shall we say. And that's all I think I've got knitting wise. No, there is plenty more knitting, but not to show. Okay. Because we're not talking about those black socks that have not been touched for over a week. And we're not talking about your cardigan that I am going to cast on, possibly today, possibly tomorrow.
It's okay.
Well, no, I need to cast it on because of the knitting bingo. I need a yarn thicker than DK, and it's Aran. So it'll get cast on at least.
Yes.
Well, I knitted this much of the first one. And
I know that was my fault.
It was your fault.
I had a blank expression. It's like me trying to tell you algebra.
You said I can do algebra.
You can, but you don't think it's algebra.
No, because it's pictures. I can do it if there's no numbers.
Just pretend the number is a picture.
It doesn't work. My brain doesn't work that way. I've completely lost my thread now.
I mean, you lost your yarn.
Oh. Yes, I did lose my yarn. Don't know how, because there's plenty of it around.
So you've just finished your knitting, nearly done.
Yes. I won't show you any whips because basically I suppose this is still a whip. Whip for the uninitiated. Works in progress.
I know.
Oh, well done.
Factory worker.
Do they use it in factories as well?
SOPs. And that's about
What's an SOP then?
Standard operating procedure.
Oh, of course it is. I knew that.
So technically, you'd have an SOP for your knitting.
I would.
Mm.
My SOP is get comfy in front of the telly, Netflix or YouTube. I'm not fussy.
True.
Preferably with a drink so I don't have to get up again. There we go. Right, so the only thing I have left to tell you, and this has been a very short episode, I do apologise, is about August giveaway. In order to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is comment on any of the August, what's this thing called? Podcasts. You're very distracting. You're a distracting
Just
presence.
sitting here, I'll just glance.
It's not really very helpful.
I'm sorry.
Yes, comment on any of the August podcasts. I am compiling a list as we speak. Well, not actually as we speak, because obviously I'm doing this, but I check it every day and add any new names onto the list. I can just see your expression. That is very off-putting.
I'm sorry. You made it.
I did. Right, so the prize is...
Would you like me to hold it and then you can...
Oh, thank you.
Not have your face covered?
But then it won't... Oh, sometimes it doesn't focus if I haven't covered up my face. Besides which, like you, I prefer my face to be covered. If I could do this without ever showing my face, that would be excellent.
That would be an audio one, but then they wouldn't see the knitting, would they?
There are audio knitting podcasts.
Oh.
They just talk about knitting.
Oh, fair enough.
So this is your prize. It is a sock bag with a little wrist strap with the usual Mouses Makes on it. It has an open-ended zip, which I tried to show you last week, but when I edited the video it kind of zoomed in, so you couldn't... Oh gosh,
That's not how you do it.
That's not how you do it, is it? So you couldn't really see very well. So I'm going to show you again. So it's got an open-ended zip on it, so that you can have, if you wish, your yarn coming out the end without it getting snagged on the teeth. And the main purpose of it is that you can fold it over into a little bucket bag without straining the zip. This is what I was trying to show you last time, but I think it got cut off at the bottom of the video. So that ordinarily would be pulling that in and it would be straining the zip. But with my new super design, that doesn't happen. And I'd like to pretend that I was really clever and thought that up, but it actually came about because I ordered a zip and I accidentally ordered an open-ended zip and thought, oh well, I'll use it anyway, and then discovered that it had benefits. Along with the bag, there is a sock set from the aforementioned Anjknits yarns. Now, Knit and Pearls yarns. This is going to be awfully confusing. There's 50 grams of the pink, 25 grams of the contrasting green, and it is a 75% superwash merino. And I think it contrasts really nicely with the bag because it's picked up the pinks and the greens from the little dub canvas. So that's the prize. Competition is, oh, well, it's not really a competition, is it? I don't know. It's open until midnight British summertime on the 25th of August because I will be drawing it on the podcast on the 26th of August. So that's it, everything, I think. So it's a short one today. I couldn't catch Lily and
Oh no, that's Rose.
I got Rose. I couldn't catch Lily. We'll try and get Lily another time.
Oh no, that's Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy and Rocket are asleep in their usual positions. Actually, I'm going to pause the camera and then, because I've got to wrestle it out of its stands, and then actually I could perhaps move the...
Which one are you trying to wrestle?
Well, I was gonna show them Rocket and Poppy in their bunk bed.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, bear with me. Close your eyes if you get car sick. We're going on a trip. So there, I think, is Rocket. Hello. No, Rocket is very unimpressed. And if we go down below the chair, I think you can see, here's the Poppins. I can't tell. I can't tell if you can see her, and I can't tell if she's looking.
I think so.
Okay. She's probably wondering what the heck that thing is I'm waving at her. So, apologies for the very wobbly trip that you've just been on. And that's 3 of the 4 cats. I will... I don't know what happened then, but you made me laugh and it made me cough. I told you he was going to like ruin everything, didn't I?
Nice little confidence boost there.
Much like my body when I was expecting you. Ruined.
Hey, I didn't destroy your pelvis. That was Ewan.
That was Ewan. That was Ewan.
I just broke your back.
Gave me a varicose vein. Ah, children, why do we bother? Right. I will bring an end to the chaos now because somebody has to go to work and I have to go and get a blood test. So, thank you for joining us. I apologise that it was a short visit today and that I only managed to get 3 out of 4 cats. There's a programme, isn't there? 3 out of 4 cats.
8 out of 10.
Oh, well.
Maths really isn't your strong suit.
It isn't. It really isn't. Okay, so from myself and Peter, bye bye. Thank you for joining us, and we will see. Well, I will see you next week. He won't.
No, I'm going to be asleep.
Yeah,
on night shift.
He's on nights next week. He doesn't want to come. Anyway, thank you for joining. See you soon. Bye.